Hey, welcome back. We're going to talk about hidden stressors and dysfunctions, which are at the root of most common health complaints today. So whether you're suffering from some health issues or you have clients who are that you want to help, pay attention because we're going to cover some really good stuff. Now, the first two things that we're going to talk about are the hormone and immune. For a simple reason. There's one test that you can take at home. It's very easy to do. Simple saliva collection, morning, noon, afternoon, and nighttime. Mail it off to the lab. So it's very easy to do at home. And we can look at some clues about your hormones and your immune system. Again, one simple, easy test. Now, one of the things you need to know about doing this kind of work is that it's about function. It's not about diagnosing or treating disease. That's what you go to your doctor for. And generally, he goes and gives you a prescription for something and gets rid of the symptoms like we talked about in the last video. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to really work on your health and build health, well, that's a whole different ballgame. Now, it's important to know that stress in any way, shape, or form, whether it's the kind that comes from mental, emotional issues, whether it's the kind that comes from physical trauma, damage to your body in a physical way, whether it comes from the biochemical stressors, toxins in your body or dysfunction in your body and these kind of things, it affects your hormones and your immune system. So here's one way you could look at it. I hope you can see this. There's a hormone called cortisol, which when you're under stress will go up, and you could be under stress for a long time, years and years and years, and your cortisol on a daily basis might stay up pretty high. Eventually it's going to go down, and it might go down to the point where it doesn't seem like you can even make it anymore, and people in that shape are usually doing very, very poorly. But let's back up for just a minute and say, let's say that you are, cranking out a lot of cortisol on a daily basis. How might you feel when you're like that? Well, when your adrenal glands and all your systems are firing right, and you're cranking a lot of cortisol, you're also cranking out a lot of adrenaline and things, and you might actually feel pretty good. So there are people who thrive on stress. They work 2 jobs and they think, yeah, man, I'm doing it, and they come home and play with the kids and all this kind of stuff. And so we think that's a good thing. But how long do you think you can keep that up when this goes on year after year after year, and you start adding in things like, besides your job is stressful and but you're keeping all the balls juggling and things like that, there are environmental stressors, and there's physical trauma that might accumulate in your body, and on and on and on. There's poor food, there's poor air, there's poor water quality, there's all these exogenous things in the environment. And so eventually the stress will be more than your body can really handle. And you'll start to see certain markers, including cortisol, probably go down. And you actually start to feel symptoms around this point. Now, to you, nothing's different. You're living the same life, you're maybe in the same house, you got the same car, you got the same family and things like that. Well, what's different? I used to feel really good, and now I'm not feeling so good anymore. Well, there's dysfunction in your body, and your hormones are becoming unbalanced. You're losing the ability to really keep them balanced, and things happen to your immune system, and when you're in that sort of situation, you tend to get sick more often. Or things will make you sick that don't make the person next to you sick, that kind of a thing. And so eventually you can slide down to a state where you're really needing medical care, or you're going to the doctor, you're saying, hey, what's wrong with me? Now back up here, maybe you're just self-medicating. Maybe you just start drinking more coffee, and that gets you through the day. But then you come home at night and you're not sleeping very well. So you start drinking maybe a little bit of wine or something with dinner, and then you start waking up in the middle of the night and things like that. So now your life is kind of disrupted. You have poor sleep, then you're tired during the day, and you're depending upon self-medicating, and then you're coming home and you're all wired up, so you're doing more self-medicating and things like that. And you may not have a disease that your physician's going to be able to figure out. They look at your blood work, And they might say, well, you know, there's nothing really wrong with you that we can see from your blood work. Well, that's one of the reasons we run a saliva test, a urine test, or stool test, and these other bodily fluids that are going to give us more of an idea of what's going on underneath. And so that's one test you could run, and it would give us some clues about your hormones and your immune system, where the dysfunctions are, you know, where the healing opportunities are really, and we'll be able to recommend to you some things to do to improve your health and just simply get better. And so more about that on the next little video. I hope you come back and enjoy it.